What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, it is time for another full album reaction to Black Sabbath, this time checking out their last Ozzy-led album. We have Never Say Die, and I want to again thank our longtime friend and patron of the channel, Carl, for not only suggesting and supporting this reaction, but all of the previous Sabbath reactions that we have been doing, starting from their self-titled debut all the way up to this. It's been a really fun journey. I'm kind of sad to see it ending here today, but I am excited to hear what Sabbath with Ozzy end with. Again, I know critically maybe it's not a darling compared to some of their earlier works, but just like Technical Ecstasy, which kind of fell into that same trap, and I still had some tracks that I really enjoyed off it. I'm looking forward to seeing if that's the case here today with Never Say Die. So with that said, let's get into the quick facts here, people. Their 8th record, released in September of 1978, went to 12 in the UK, 69 in the US. Nice. It was the last studio album with the band's original lineup and the last studio album to feature Ozzy until the 2013 record 13. The album received mixed reviews, with critics calling it unbalanced and insisting its energy was scattered in too many directions. At the time of the recording of the record, the members of Sabbath were all heavily involved in drug and alcohol abuse, as we've kind of covered in the lead-up of the quick facts of these previous albums. Prior to recording, Ozzy briefly quit the band and was temporarily replaced by former Savoy Brown and Fleetwood Mac vocalist Dave Walker. In '92, Tony Iommi explained to Guitar World, "We never wanted him to leave, and I think he wanted to come back, but no one would tell the other how they felt, so we had to bring in another singer and write all new material." Osbourne eventually rejoined, refusing to sing any of the songs written with Walker. Iommi elaborated in 1992, saying Bill Ward had to sing on one track because Ozzy refused to sing it. "We ended up having to write in the day so we could record in the evening, and we never had time to review the tracks and make changes. As a result, the album sounds very confused. We had a few internal problems," Osbourne admitted. "My father was dying, so that put us out for over 3 months with the funeral and everything. I left the band for 3 months before we got back together to record it." However, the writing was on the wall, with Osbourne stating in his memoir, quote, "No one really ever talked about what had happened. I just turned up in the studio one day. I think Bill had been trying to act as a peacemaker on the phone, and that was the end of it. But it was obvious things had changed, especially between me and Tony. I don't think anyone's heart was in it anymore." The album was recorded at the Sounds Interchange Studios in Toronto. "We went to Toronto to record it, and that's when the problem started," Iommi recalled. "Why Toronto? Because of the tax, really. The studio was booked through brochures because people thought it might be a good one. We got there and it had a dead sound. Totally wrong. We couldn't get a real live sound. So what we had to do was rip the carpet up, try to make it as live as we could. They were okay about it, but it took time to get it exactly right. There were no other studios available." Geezer Butler noted that he was growing impatient with Osbourne's criticism of his lyrics, stating, quote, "I used to hate doing it towards the end of the Ozzy era. He'd say, 'I'm not singing that,' so you'd have to rethink the whole thing." Iommi was also quoted as saying, "We were all into silly games. We were getting really drugged out. We go down to the sessions and have to pack up because we were too stoned. Nobody could get anything right. We were all over the place. Everybody was playing a different thing." With Never Say Die, we were down on our luck, Ozzy reflected. "We were just a bunch of guys drowning in the ocean. We weren't getting along with each other. We were all messed up with drugs and alcohol. I got fired. It was just a bad thing. You try to lift your head above water, but eventually the tide sucks you under." They were supposed to be really wired, remarked keyboardist Don Airy. Tony Iommi had a reputation for hitting people, so I got quite a shock when they turned out to be the nicest people I ever worked with. The first thing Ozzy did was make me a cup of tea. Ozzy quickly soured on the LP, telling publication in 1981, "The last album I did was Sabbath, and it was the worst piece of work that I'd ever had anything to do with. I'm ashamed with that record. I think it's disgusting." End quote right there. And man, I guess with that said, I mean, I can see that it didn't seem like the most fun time recording this record. And when the band members start souring on the album, then yeah, just over time, I've noticed that that you know, in the fans' minds, don't hold it in high esteem either. But hey, we're going in with an open mind right here, and I'm ready to get after it, man. So with all that said, I'm gonna have lyrics pulled up for all these these tracks, gonna sit down, enjoy the song, and then give my thoughts afterwards. Hopefully this full album reaction will be able to be up here on YouTube. We've had pretty good luck with the Sabbath stuff, but if that doesn't happen, there will be a link in Vimeo, to Vimeo rather, in the description, so you can check out the full uncut reaction if it ends up getting blocked here and there. So with that said, we're gonna start with the title track, and I just gotta say, whether it's a great album or not, it is a great album cover, man. I am liking this right here. The dude's getting ready to, I don't even know, the air suits, getting ready to fly. I don't know the technical term, people. But with that said, we're starting with Never Say Die. It talks about never giving up. It stresses that there's no need to worry when the future can still bring great things. It's been covered by Megadeth also as well at one point in their career. So with that said, let's get after it, man. Let's get after it. All right, Never Say Die, the title track right here, man. Definitely got to give the heart treatment to it because I quite enjoyed this one, man. What a way to kick off the album. And as I noted in the reaction, and we kind of heard this a little on Technical Ecstasy, where the heavier sound, that kind of doom and gloom riffs from Iommi were getting replaced a little bit, and you can hear that on this track where it is almost a bit more anthemic, just energetic in a sense, and I don't know, uplifting's probably not the right word, but it definitely has a bit more of just that classic hard rock sound, I guess you could say, and you know, still really, really strong on that guitar work right there. And I mean, that chorus was probably my favorite. There's no need to have a reason. There's no need to wonder why. It's a part of me that tells you, oh, don't ever say die. Never say die again. So again, just the way Ozzy delivered that vocal, I quite enjoyed, and I think it was a great way to kick off this record right here, man. So we're 1 for 1 so far. So let's see if we can keep that up on this next song, Johnny Blade. Did not expect the synths here, people. Bill Ward bringing it.
He will cut you down. Johnny Blade. Life has no meaning, and death his only friend. Will fate surprise him? Where will he meet his end? He feels so bitter. Yes, he's so full of hate. To die in the gutter, I guess that's Johnny's fate. Rivals all across the land, he kills them with his knife in hand. He's the meanest guy around his town. One look and he will cut you down.
I don't want to be messing with Johnny Blade, I'm taking it here, people. It chopped me up.
Well, you know
ramping up the guitar right here. Again, very catchy riff being the foundation of this track. All right, the synths coming back up. Johnny Blade bringing it with synths and all right here for the first minute 15 of the song. Those synths popping up. We heard some synths a little bit on their Sabotage record pop up here and there, but Sabbath and synths not something you'd associate together, and it popped up towards the end of the track as well. Not my favorite part of the tune. I didn't hate it per se, but my favorite part was definitely when they really let Iommi let loose right here. And Bill Ward, probably the MVP of this track behind the kit as well. I thought he crushed it throughout the song, whether he's in the bass drum, the snare, whatever, just really giving it his all. Can feel the power, the presence of Mr. Bill Ward on this track. And here we're really describing this guy who's a bit troubled, a bit off kilter. He's Johnny Blade. His name's Johnny Blade for a reason, right? Towards the end, Ozzy notes, been alone all through his life. His only friend is a switchblade knife. He's the one who should be afraid what will happen to you, Johnny Blade. And just under that again, the riff master himself, Tony Iommi, laying a good foundation right here. So for me, again, solid track right here, especially one being 6.5 minutes. I will admit I was getting a little nervous here in those synths. Like, are we gonna stretch this out for the full 6+ minutes of the song? But that was not the case. So now we go from Johnny Blade to Junior's Eyes right here as our third song. This was dedicated to Ozzy's father, who died in 1977. It was originally written with the new vocalist, as we mentioned in the quick facts, Dave Walker. But before the band could start recording the new album, Ozzy decided to return to the band. As I noted, he refused to sing any songs written by Walker, so many were changed, including this one. The lyrics are about a child whose father dies and him trying to live with it, but being unable to cope. like it's starting a little quiet, just with that bass and drum, get that rhythm going.
Julia's eyes looked up to the skies in tears. He prayed that his maker, the giver and taker, would give. Julia sighed as his hands reached out to the sky. Julia cried the day that his best friend died. You're coming home again tomorrow. I'm sorry it won't be for long. With all the pain I watched you live within, I'll try my hardest not to cry when it is time to say goodbye. Julia's eyes, they couldn't disguise the pain. His father was leaving, and Julia's grieving again. Innocent eyes watched the man who gave everything. Julia's sorrow, he knew what tomorrow would bring. You're coming home again tomorrow. I'm sorry it won't be for long. With all the pain I watched you live within, I'll try my hardest not to cry when it is time to say goodbye.
I'm loving the arrangement on this track here, y'all. Definite heart treatment. All right, Junior's Eyes, what a great track right here. And I thought Ozzy's vocals were on point. Tony Iommi, again, really delivering a fantastic and, very, at times, kind of expressive, emotional guitar solo. And, we started it out just getting that rhythm, getting that rhythm section going. And I just loved the way this song built up. The arrangement was on point, and as were the lyrics too. Again, an emotional tune as he's talking about Junior's eyes, looking up to the sky, looking to God, and crying, and he's getting the chorus, "You're coming home again tomorrow. I'm sorry, it won't be for long. With all the pain I've watched you live within, I'll try my hardest not to cry when it is time to say goodbye." And so, and at the end too, I like, he desperately tried, his fingertips stretched to the stars, reaching for a reason along with the time and the scars, and noting that, I realize how painful this life on earth can be. And so, all in all, man, really a strong track right here. I'd say my favorite up to this point. I know we're only 3 songs in, but now we're going to finish off the first side here with A Hard Road, which was a single in the UK, went to 33. Geezer noted that it is also going to talk about a little bit about the band situation at the time with the Ozzy's father dying, as well as just the rock star's life being a hard road to walk. Right, A Hard Road ending our first side off here, and again, I thought it was a solid tune. Maybe would have been benefited from the chopping a minute or two off here, but still, again, I think you are hearing the sound throughout this record, right? That's a little bit more leaning on the hard rock side, as opposed to kind of that heavier doom-like sound that was a staple of those early Sabbath records, right? And on this, we, as I alluded to before the song started, have a couple little allusions to Ozzy's dad dying. Laughter turns to tear as love is gone. And then we have that constant refrain throughout the song, "Oh, it's a hard road," right? And describing just some of the difficulties of life, difficulties of being a band, in the life, and life becomes the singer and the songs sing along. As we continue to go, talking about the family, talking about, just the nightlife, and, just how different your life is, right? Whenever you are a rock and roll star. And so, again, I thought the guitar riff was quite hypnotic. I enjoyed that, and had the backing vocals at the end to give again a bit of an anthemic type of song. I've already said that word a couple times throughout this reaction, but I think it's apt again right here. And so we're gonna go now to the song "Shockwave," kicking off the second half of this record. Let's get it.
There
All right, Shockwave bringing it right here, man. And I gotta say, I did enjoy the story that was unfolded right here. Lyrically, a highlight, I think, of this record. My only complaint is, man, I would have liked the underlying riff to maybe have a bit more punch, right? Bit more of that doom, impending doom type of sound, because it would have really fit the lyrics quite well. And you know, not like the guitar playing was bad. I thought again, Iommi crushed it, especially on the solo, right? But I would have liked it to maybe be a bit more distorted, maybe a bit more fuzzy at points, something to make it, yeah, just a bit more distinct, and possibly add to that doomy type of sound that we're so used to Sabbath doing. Because I mean, shoot, we start the song, y'all, with "There's no reason for you to run. You can't escape the fate of the chosen one. Black moon rising in a blood red sky." When you read those lyrics, man, you want to be hit in the head with you know, just that dark type of sound that Sabbath can pull off so well, and we didn't really have that here. So that is my only complaint really about the song, because again, I enjoyed the way that Ozzy kind of built this, where this dude, you know, thinks he's alone out here, but then later on we figure out he's kind of caught in between the worlds of you know, this world and the other world, ghostly shadows from the other world, evil forces in your mind, trapped between the worlds of life and death, frozen in the realms of time. I thought that, like I said, this was a highlight lyrically right here. We're going to go now to the song Air Dance. So let's check it out.
She sits in silence in her midnight room with faded pictures of a dancing girl, a distant dreamer of the seas of time. Her happy memories
Okay.
dancing through her mind.
I did not expect the keys to start dancing on us.
In days of romance, she was the queen of dance. She danced the night away. And as the seasons turn the days to years, she holds her pictures. Here's the sight.
Keying in too on Geezer's bass line right here. Haven't mentioned him much, but I'm digging him right here.
Dancing queen, and now she dances only in her dreams. In days of romance, she was the queen of dance. She danced the night away.
Bit of a jazzy flavor right here, which again don't really expect with Sabbath, but ramping back up now. Air Dance bringing it right here again, showing a different side of Sabbath musically right here, where we started again with that harder type of sound. Iommi just ripping there, and then faded away, going with the piano, which was quite prominent. And we had Don Airy, who I had quoted in the quick facts. He is on the keys on this song right here, and once it picked up in the middle, he just kind of they rode the rest of the song out with that piano. So again, I thought that was a little bit interesting. Again, as I noted in the track, almost had a bit of a jazzy flair at one point, a little breakdown where the lyrics faded away and they just let the keys and the bass and the drums just work together in harmony. Though it's not maybe a favorite of mine, I did enjoy I did enjoy the fact that Sabbath tried something different, right? And here too, the song kind of has that universal message when you grow older and you kind of hearken on the glory days, so to speak. She's looking here. We have an actual dancer due to the track, Air Dance. She's looking at it. She's holding the picture. She hears the silent cheers. The days grow lonely for the dancing queen, and now she dances only in her dreams. Physically not able to do it anymore. Maybe, who knows? But whatever the case is, she only has those memories now to fuel her. But hey, at least she has those. At least she was able to go out and do something, right, people? So with that said, we're going to go now to the next song right here, Over to You. Only 3 songs left. Let's check this one out. All right, Over to You coming in here. I'll get my negatives out of the way first. I thought it dragged a little bit. Again, I think chopping a minute or 90 seconds off would have benefited the song a little bit, just because, it kind of kept in that same same type of structure and sound, throughout the entire song. But with that said, again, I thought the lyrical content was quite strong, not only on this song, but again, this whole album, I think bringing forth some good, grand ideas right here. Essentially here, the main theme of feeling like you've been trapped or, put in a box by authority, by the man, so to speak, from the earliest days. You called to school, taught your religion, told me what to do. I handed my childhood over to you. So again, that refrain of handing it over to you. I like how that was flipped towards the end, where he's talking about, fighting your wars, feeding our children, keeping your loss. Someday you'll suffer. Then what I'll do, I'll hand all your promises, all these grand promises that has been made, that has been under-delivered. I'm handing those back to you. You deal with it, because at the end of the day, right, you can only work if the people under you believe in the vision and work towards those ideals as well. Again, not a song I hated or anything, but I think one that would have benefited from just a little trimming. So with that said, we're going to go now to the track Breakout, 2.5 minute instrumental. Let's check it out. real slow. Did not expect the horn section. Breakout bringing it right here. As you heard, those saxophones really wailing at the end there. And you know, song or the instrumental started off with Ward just slowly hitting that drum kit, and then you know, then we had just a bit more of a slower, drawn out riff going, and then yeah, that horn section came swinging on in there. I can see some Sabbath fans absolutely despising this. I'm always down for a good horn section instrumental, and you know, that had it here. It was only 2.5 minutes. I thought you know, I thought it was tight. Does it fit this album and the structure there? You could argue no, but all that to say, I didn't mind it too much, even if it's one, you know, I wouldn't be rushing to revisit either. But with that said, we're going to Swinging the Chain right now. Bill Ward singing it because Ozzy refused to, and so that'll close out our record here. Afterwards, I'll give my favorite tracks and then overall score on the album.
It's against my uniform to be a civil judge. All the songs are history now about rock stars and their grudge. Let us cast our minds back to 30 years or more. You talk of all the battles, well, heck, I'll beat 'em all. And we're sad and sorry. We're really sorry that it happened that way. Yes, we're so sorry for what happened to us that way.
Little harmonica, okay.
Play ourselves with others and cover them in sin. Oh God, what a terrible state we're in. There must be somewhere out here a compromise that's right. If we cannot put
swinging the chain, bringing it in to Never Say Die. Bill Ward on the vocals, and no, he's never going to be mistaken as a songbird. It's fit the almost dirty blues type of style we had on this, not only from the nasty guitar riff that we had throughout the song, but the harmonica being a bit prominent in the musical arrangement as well. And again, just showed that hey, Sabbath wasn't afraid to try different genres and sounds out on this album right there. I would have preferred Ozzy on the vocals, of course, and I think he could have pulled this off. It's a shame that he said no can do on this one. But again, just kind of talking about in the chorus, we're sad and sorry. We're really sorry that it happened this way. But why'd you have to treat us that way? You know, kind of an interesting chorus to leave the classic lineup of the band on, right? And so, you know, with that too, I again just thought it was very, very bluesy at points in this song, and you know, a fine way to end the record off right here. And so that'll take me now to my favorite songs. I got to go with Junior's Eyes. I have to go with the title track. Those were for me two ones that were you know, pretty high up there. You know, easily distinguishable from the rest. I also enjoyed A Hard Road and Air Dance for what they had to offer as well. Overall score of this record, man. So kind of summing up my thoughts on this, I thought the first half of the record really strong. Back half definitely tapered off a bit for me. But with that said, I do respect the fact that Sabbath is not afraid to try these different sounds out. We had a lot of different stuff on here, y'all, from you know, the touches of, you know, obviously your hard rock, your metal stuff, but also you know, a touch of jazz in there at certain points. You had the horn section and Breakout, the instrumental, even, you know, towards the end here, going a little bit back to their bluesier roots. So you know, I do respect the fact there that they were trying to keep it fresh, do something different, even if maybe everything didn't hit and didn't hit with you know, fans at the time, or you know, even today. But with that said, this was not some hideous album by any means at all. I think the hate might be a little overblown just from some of the stuff I read. Is it up to their first 6 albums? No, of course not. But that is a very high bar, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, you wonder if this came out from another band that you didn't know anything about, and you listen to it, would you enjoy it more, right? Because you're not judging the band against themselves. But of course we can't do that, right? Because we already know how great those first 6 records are. But with that said, I'm feeling a 6.5 on this record right here. I thought that there were again, those first 4 songs in particular were really strong, and then there were, you know, points like I said, Air Dance with the keys and stuff, that was interesting. And even if I'm not going to be rushing to revisit those tracks per se, you know, I do respect the creativity. So I'm feeling good at about a you know, a 6.5 for me on this record. Of course, I want to know from you, what are your thoughts on this album? Where'd you rank it in those Ozzy years? And if there's interest and you'd like me to rank the Sabbath albums with Ozzy, let me know in the comments below, and I can get that cooking up potentially here. But again, I want to shout out Carl for requesting this. Be sure to show some love for him for you know, sponsoring and requesting these videos down below. If you'd like to have me do a song reaction or an album reaction, you have a top 10 list, check out our Patreon page, which is linked below. You can also vote in polls that dictate some of the content that'll be coming up on the channel as well. And man, had a great time going through the Ozzy Sabbath years. It was a very fun journey. You know, one of my favorite bands of not only the 70s, but of all time after going through this, especially those first 6 albums, man. So many classic songs and just classic albums in there. So thank you all for going with me on this journey. The end screen will have a link to some other content that you might enjoy if you want to go in the back catalog and check out the reactions to those first 7 albums as well. So with that said, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening. Until next time, I will see you.